welcome everybody to lecture number 3, the main 5 types of contracts. In here specifically we're talking about residential contracts. So what types of residential contracts are there in California? There are the prime building contracts, home improvement contracts, subcontracts, service and repair contracts, and handy person contracts. First up is the prime building contracts. So going over what goes into a prime building contract. But first, what is a prime building contract? A prime building contract in the residential setting is for the building of a new structure. The contractor is building a new structure, and it could be a house or it could be an accessory dwelling unit, but whatever it is a new structure. It's not a remodel, it's a completely new structure. What goes into the prime building contract? You have to have the name and address of the owner, name, address, and license number of the contractor, property information of the site to be improved, including the street address and assessor's parcel number, description of the work, the subject or the scope of work, frequently referred to the approved set of plans, building permit, and estimate. Also have to have the contract price and payment schedule, time of performance, and if the building permit has not been obtained prior to the signing of the contract, then usually the commencement date is when the building permit is obtained or shortly thereafter, and the completion is within the time frame of the building permit. It could be longer, but frequently it's within the time of the building permit. In addition, the prime building contract needs to include, by the contractor, disclosure of commercial general liability insurance, disclosure of workers' compensation insurance, the owner's right to a performance and payment bond, warranties including a 1-year warranty for finished work pursuant to California Civil Code Section 900. Also has to have the contractor's state license board contact information. And where do you find out more information about it, and where can you find the exact language to put in these types of contracts? You can find it at California Business and Professions Code Section 7164. Next up is the home improvement contract. A home improvement contract differs from a prime building contract in that a home improvement contract is to improve an existing home, meaning the home is being repaired or remodeled. So what goes into a home improvement contract? A lot more than what goes into a prime building contract. For a home improvement contract, it must include the owner's name and address, contractor's name, address, license number, description of the work, the scope of work. Usually, instead of creating a huge book of everything the contractor is going to do, the contractor incorporates by reference the approved building plans, the building permit if it's already been obtained, and the estimate provided by the contractor, previously provided by the contractor. It is incorporated by reference. It's incorporated by reference as the scope of work for the project. The home improvement contract must also include the contract price with a payment schedule. A home improvement contract must have a fixed price, meaning it cannot be time and materials. It cannot be a cost plus contract. It actually by statute has to be a fixed price contract. If it only states a fixed price and it doesn't provide a payment schedule, then the property owner technically does not have to pay until the project is completed. So it's very important for the contractor to include a payment schedule in the contract. Deposit information, 10% or $1,000, whichever is less, is the maximum amount a contractor can demand. 10% or $1,000, whichever is less. So if the contract price is $500,000, the most the contractor can demand for a deposit is $1,000. Can only charge for work performed and materials delivered. After the deposit has been received, the contractor can only charge for work performed and materials delivered. They cannot ask for material money up front. They cannot ask for an advance in payment. They can only get paid for work performed and materials delivered. Must also include the time of performance, usually go by the permit dates for commencement and completion, although it can be less, but the time of the project has to be within the time of the permit if a permit is required. Of course, if a permit is not required, then it is up to the parties as to when time of commencement begins. The home improvement contract must also include additional information. The contractor must provide a mechanic's lien warning, notifying the homeowner what a mechanic's lien is, the ramifications if the homeowner does not make payments, and what the contractor can do to ensure that the contractor is paid. Must also include a change order form, notifying the homeowner that they have a right to make change orders. A blank change order form is included, so the property owner knows that they can fill out a form and submit it to the contractor if they want changes to the project. The homeowner also has a right to cancel the contract if they want to upon signing it, so long as it's not signed at the contractor's place of business. If it's signed anywhere else, then the property owner has either 3, 5, or 7 days to cancel the contract. The property owner has 3 days to cancel the contract if the homeowner is under the age of 65. If over the age of 65, the property owner has 5 business days to cancel the contract. Business days are Monday through Saturday, with Sundays and holidays excluded. If there is a declared state of emergency, then the property owner has 7 business days to cancel the contract, regardless of their age. The contractor must also disclose if they have commercial general liability insurance, also if they have workers' compensation insurance. Some contractors by statute are required to have workers' compensation insurance regardless if they have employees or not. Roofers must have workers' comp, concrete contractors must have it, HVAC and asbestos and tree trimming contractors all need to have a workers' comp policy. Contractor also needs to disclose the homeowner's right to demand a performance and payment bond. There's also a 1-year warranty for finished work per Civil Code Section 900. Where to find additional information about home improvement contracts, go to Business and Professions Code Section 7159, which states exactly what needs to go into a home improvement contract, and a contractor should just use the language right out of the statute to put in their contracts if they make their own. And also go to Business and Professions Code 7159.5 regarding requirements of a fixed price in a home improvement contract. Third is subcontracts. Subcontracts are agreements between the prime contractor, the contractor that has a contract with the property owner, and with a subcontractor who's going to usually do a particular trade. Subcontracts can be much more informal than a regular contract. The reason being is that the subcontractor and prime contractor are considered to be experts in the field, so they don't need as much detailed information to go into a contract. Subcontracts can be verbal agreements as to the parties, subject, time, and price. Parties being the prime contractor and the subcontractor. The subject being whatever the trade is that the subcontractor is going to perform for the project. Time of performance, when they're going to start, when it's going to stop. And the price that the subcontractor is going to charge the prime contractor to do the particular trade. No formal contract is required. You can have a formal contract, but it's not required. The only form that is required is the 20-day preliminary notice. The 20-day preliminary notice is required by statute. The notice must be served no later than 20 days after starting a project. It can be served before then. It can be served before the project even commences, but no later than 20 days after starting a project. It includes the party's information, the owner's information, the bank's information if there is one, the site information, including the street address and assessor's parcel number, the trade the contractor is going to perform, the subcontract price, and the time the notice is served. Failure to serve the preliminary notice is grounds for discipline by the Contractor State License Board. In addition, the subcontractor will lose the ability to issue a stop payment notice for projects involving a construction lender, and will lose the ability to serve a mechanics lien if the preliminary notice has not been served. Where to find out more information about it? Actually, it's not Business and Professions Code. It is Civil Code sections, which will be on the final slide. Next up is service and repair contracts. Service and repair contracts are very simple contracts that are usually for one-day projects. An example being repairing a furnace, repairing a water heater, a broken door or window, plumbing leaks and clogs, things that can be usually taken care of within 1 day or less. Contract price can only be up to $750. No deposit is required. No mechanics lien warning is given. The contractor who does a service and repair contract, it would be cost prohibitive to do a mechanics lien. It would be much more efficient to go to small claims court if not paid. There is no right to a performance and payment bond. There's no right to any change order. Where to find out more information about service and repair contracts, go to Business and Professions Code 7159.10. Last and arguably least is handy person contracts. Handy person contracts. Handy person contracts fall under the minor work exemption. So the contractor can be unlicensed, does not need to be licensed to do a handy person contract. So long as the contract price for labor and materials is less than $500. Less than $500. Cannot have multiple contracts. The contractor cannot have multiple contracts to circumvent the $500 limit. So if a contractor wants to do a variety of things and all of those things are less than $500, but in the aggregate or altogether is way more than $500, the unlicensed contractor cannot do that. They would have to be licensed if the contract price is $500 or more. Where to find out more information about handyperson contracts, go to Business and Professions Code, section 7048 and 7159.